This is the Hot Take Hockey Podcast with your hosts, Lucas and John Viveiros.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Hot Take Hockey Podcast. John here with Lucas, and we're continuing the pod, 11th episode now. So we got a big interview towards the end of this pod with Logan Stankoven, so prospect of the Dallas Stars, Kamloops Blazers right now, the captain, and the big World Juniors gold medal, his pass to Kent Johnson. So we're going to talk about him on all of that later in the episode. So stick around, watch the whole episode, listen to the whole episode on Spotify, Apple. Yes, it is available now on Spotify, Apple. So search up Hot Take Hockey Podcast. We'll also have the links on the YouTube. But Lucas, man, everyone watching on YouTube right now can see it. We're going to start off with a reverse retro tier list for the new reverse retro. So, man, how are you feeling on this season so far? We dropped the overreaction pod and just look at these reverse retros, man. We're going to rip through it.
Some of these jerseys are unreal, man. Like, I'm actually overall, before we get into our thoughts on each of them, man, overall, the NHL did really well with these. I think a lot of them are certainly items that if you're a fan of these teams, go out and get.
For sure. So we're not going to, I mean, if we have strong debate, we can get it a little heated here, but we're just going to go in order, starting with the Anaheim Ducks. Just quickly, how are you feeling on this? Higher or lower for you?
I think with that Mighty Ducks logo, it's always going to get me some brownie points. So can't do too much wrong there. You know, I would say it's near the top, closer to the top.
Can we agree on A?
Let's throw it in A. Let's throw it in A.
Yeah, we can rip through, and then if we disagree after, like we have one that's like, because this one I feel like causes debate for people. It's the Zona one. Do you like dig into these creative ones, or do you just not vibe?
Yeah. So the Chachina, I love it. I'm wearing it right now on my hat. Their jersey that they had last year, I think I slightly like a little better, or I guess it would be 2 seasons ago when they first released the reverse retros with the purple at the bottom, and the whole, dawn and dusk sort of play. But I like this one, John. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, right now, I think I'm mixed with it. I would say B or C for me, but if you like it, I think we can agree on B probably.
I got it in B.
Okay, B is fair. All right, Bruins. Man, I don't know how I feel about this one. Like, I honestly actually like the logo a lot. It gives me like throwback vibes. I think maybe they could have done more with the jersey as a whole, but I don't mind it.
Me too. I mean, I think they could have done a little more with the design work, but this takes me back to NHL 06, running it with you in the basement, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The Winnie the Pooh bear, Glenn Murray slap shots.
Yeah.
I like this one, though. I like it because the bear, man.
Yeah.
I got it closer.
I think without the logo,
I'd
probably have it in C or D, but it might be pushing B for me if we have Zona and B.
I got it in B.
B, okay. And then here's another one where it's like the logo for me brings it back and it's so dope. I honestly think the logo, this is one of the ones like the Mighty Ducks. The logo just brings it up high for me right away.
Yeah, the Buffalo Sabres, that logo takes me back to the Afinogenov and all those guys,
Derek
Tim
Roy,
Connolly, Derek Roy. I like it. I personally like their colorway with the black and red. And I know that they've kind of brought that back as a third jersey, which is why they couldn't use that here probably. Yeah. So because of that, this might sound a bit of a hot take, but I got this in C just because of the colors.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll put in C for now. I think depending on where we have other jerseys, I think definitely between B and C.
Yeah.
But all right, Calgary's. This one honestly has a lot of mixed reactions. A lot of people love it, but a lot of people don't. Where are you at with the Flames?
Calgary Flames. I think that I don't know what they're doing with that bottom stripe sort of design. Not too fond of it. I like the colors, but because of that just wonky design, I got this one in D.
Wow, the hot takes are flowing. Okay, I'm gonna have to bounce back here. I don't think it's that bad. I always like the Flame jersey on a black background. So I'm gonna disagree. And can we compromise and put it at C for now?
We can. C as in Calgary. We'll put it at C.
All right. Again, I still think, here's my problem. I don't think the Flames one's as bad as the D, but I think the Flames one's definitely below the Sabres one. So I guess we'll just figure it out as we go. All right, Canes one, man. It's one of those things, again, I think some people like it, but it's like, I don't know if I love, like, in, I don't know, perspective with a reverse retro. Like, I don't know. The next couple I have that, like, I don't like, to be honest.
Yeah, I think this one right here, man. Their road jersey, I believe, has Canes across, or they have one jersey where they have it in the diagonal.
Man, the Canes are overthinking things with their jerseys in general. They need to go back to the OGs.
Yeah, no, and I feel like this year they're getting there with their new jerseys now that they've started using this season, and I really like them. I think it's my favorite Canes jersey in a while. This reverse retro though for me is such a miss. John, I don't know if you're gonna like this one, but I get this one in an F.
Honestly, I'm okay with that. You know what? Maybe it'll stir the pot with some people. I'm okay with that. I would say D or F for me. I think my biggest thing, I get reverse retros are about design and about different looks, but I obviously bring it back to the logo itself. And if like you're selling on the logo or selling on like right there in the middle, I think that makes a big difference. And for me, man, I know it's a shout to the throwbacks, but I'm putting Chicago in F.
Yeah, I have it there as well. So I'm not going to push back on you on this one. But do you remember that old jersey the Blackhawks had like in the old NHL games that had like that black and red design with like no logo on it?
Yeah.
It reminds me of that. I get what they were doing with it, but like it's a miss for me.
Yeah, I mean, man, I actually think they could have this jersey design, but like it's a reverse retro for a reason.
Yeah.
Like what you just said is the retro part of it. And all they did here was just add lettering.
Yeah.
Like have the retro part of it and add something unique. Add a logo. Add the freaking logo. So I think that would have been way better in my opinion. And what are we thinking on this beauty here?
I don't know where you're standing on this one, John, but this one for me is it's another miss for me. It's another miss. It's in the DF area. I think it's better than those two jerseys.
I think it's D
right
probably.
Now.
I think because like there's still some creativity and like obviously the shout. So like I understand where the Avs went here. Like D is probably my pick. At least we just criticized the lack of logo. So they went with the logo here, the reverse. So yeah, jackets. I mean, pretty simple. Some people are liking it, but I still think they could have done more here. I don't have it as low as an F, but maybe somewhere in the middle for jackets.
Yeah, I got it. I would say it's a D. I think I just don't get why they use that logo. I know that's their primary logo right now. Like they could have went back to the Rick Nash logo.
Yeah.
They could have done something more creative with that. I mean, the color in the middle of the jerseys, the same as their ones now. There's just not a lot going on here that I love.
Yeah. We're hating on some jerseys here. Detroit.
We're on a run
D
of
or
hate.
F here, man. D or F for Detroit, unless you disagree. You have them higher?
It was always F for me. And then I saw the unis with like the socks and everything, and it looks decently clean. But
okay, on the ice, it's a full package.
Yeah. But you know what? But that's me being generous because that's with the whole set. I think this should be F based on just the jersey.
Just like the jersey itself.
Just the jerseys and F.
All right.
This one causes some controversy. What do you think about this Oilers one?
Man, I love the throwback and I love the logo. I think the orange makes it look a little cheesy in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Just a bit, but I still think I have it at least to the C here. Do you have it higher than that?
No, I wouldn't put it higher than a C. I think those ones we have above the C, I think are superior. So I'm good with C.
All right. C for the Oilers. Man, this one is the hot take. Why did I have such a bold take for it? How do you feel with the Panthers one? I know to me it's actually a bit cheesy, but I think because of how creative they went here and literally the shoulder patch as the logo, I have them high, but I want to hear where you have them.
I love it, John. So my dad's obviously a Lightning fan these days, and we went to a game in Sunrise last year, and he picked up a T-shirt with that logo on it because he's like, oh, no one will know this is Panthers, right? Because it's just like a generic palm tree with this hockey stick. It's a cool T-shirt. Well, who knew months later they'd make it their logo on the reverse retro? But I love it. I actually love it. I love the baby blue. I have this. This is in the AB territory for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say A for me.
Let's go.
I think the creativity, it's bold. It's for sure bold, and some people might laugh at this, but I just think this is the whole point of like marketing for the NHL, reverse retros. Like, I feel like you see like I feel like casual fans, like whether it's like a frat party or a college party or like big parties at university, like I feel like people will wear this kind of jersey like out, like just repping this kind of jersey, and it's like. It's more people can get a good laugh out of it, but I think the creativity, like I think it was bold, but I actually rate this logo. I think it's just it represents kind of the South like Florida vibe and hockey itself. So I'm about it. Honestly, it's bold, especially with the colors. It's very bold.
All right, LA Kings.
Honestly, a drop from the last one, but still with the color scheme and the logo, I still have to say it's a dub in my opinion. Do you disagree?
I want to disagree with you somewhere here, but on this one, I'm in the same boat. I loved their last one, like loved it. It was one of the best ones. It's taken a bit of a step down for me, but I still would have this in B or A territory.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Is it the best B or do we slide into A for now?
I'd say A because I still like it better than the Bruins and Coyotes as of now.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
still rate that logo, honestly. I
I
think,
love it.
yeah. All right. Wild. I honestly, they just, they reversed it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think the laziness can't shoot this too high. I still like the jersey, but I don't know. How much do I like it? I don't know. It's somewhere in the middle for me, I'd say.
Yeah, I have it somewhere in just looking at our tier list right now.
Maybe
I'd
C.
I'd probably place it in C, but it's probably one of the worst C's that are there right
Yeah,
now for
I'd say
me.
back of the C. And
Yeah.
man, I don't know. I don't know if we're turning bias here. I actually don't mind it. So it's probably somewhere in the middle for me. But how are you feeling about this Habs jersey, the baby blue?
It's tough when you have teams like Montreal, Detroit, obviously original six, couple like there's only a few colors you can choose from. There's such historic jerseys and logos. So this one was tough for Montreal. But the baby blue, I just think is a sharp color. That's why I also like the Panthers one so much.
Yeah.
So I would have this in C.
Yeah. Personally, I was going to put it right here
Yep.
in between the Sabres and Oilers.
Okay.
I think I would have the Sabres just ahead of it. But I think, yeah, I think it's a high end C, low end B, probably with the Sabres too. All right. Predators here. It's one of those things, man. Like, again, they went with the retro logo. I wish it was a different color. Like, I just feel like they just went with the exact same ugly. And my hot take is I actually don't mind the Preds jerseys like as horribly as some people do, but it's like I just think they could have went in a different direction with the color with this logo.
Yeah, I've never really been, contrary to your point, I've never been a big fan of the Predators jerseys. Also, the logo, I mean, there's not much I like about their material. And this one to me is a miss. I have this. Oh man, this might be in that F territory for me.
Really?
Yeah, man. You're gonna have it in D, you think?
I'd have it low end D. I just think at least they went with the retro logo. You know, like these bottom three.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think so. How Detroit and Chicago that direction, like Nashville should have done that creative throwback like direction, maybe with the dark blue with this logo. Remember, like the David Legwand days?
Oh yeah, that would have
Like
looked a
throw
lot.
that logo
Yeah,
on that.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, are you that strong with F? I was gonna say low end D.
All right, let's go low ND. Let's call low ND.
New Jersey.
This one right here, we might have a bit of a disagreement on. Let's see.
No, honestly, I don't know what direction you're going, so I have no idea. But personally, I think it's okay. So it's the regular logo basically, but like I think the color scheme is creative and I like the bold at the bottom. Maybe too much white, I don't know. I would probably have it in the C category, low end C for me. What, you like it?
I got this in high end C, man, if not low end B. I mean, I've always loved the Devils jerseys when they have the green in it. Like any type of green's always just called to me. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just me thinking of like when Brodeur would suit that on, like when I was a kid and watched.
Yeah.
So I can compromise with C, but I think it is one of the better C's. Yeah, let's go with that.
So maybe which first, second, or third spot you think?
Yeah, probably in the second or third spot, somewhere in there.
Second. All right. Islanders. Some true Islanders fans are just not about it, but everyone that wants to be creative, man, I'm on the side. I love it. I love the fact that they went different here. And to me, like I think the biggest criticism with this jersey in the past is the teal, right? I think when we talk about like fishermen, I think when we talk about types of jerseys, like it's bold. I like it, to be honest.
Yeah, I think everybody was screaming for this logo, and thank God they went with it because people were happy to see that. Like you said, it's the color. It's just a preference on if you like the color or not.
Yeah.
I really like the direction they went with this one. I think I think they did it really, really well. So I have this just a touch below those three we have in A. So I have it as the best B probably so far.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Yeah, I was gonna say either low end A or high end B, so I'm good with that. Rangers here. This logo, it makes it better than maybe the whole jersey is. I don't know. How are you feeling on this? I think they could have done better, in my opinion. The shoulders are looking a little bare. The shoulders are looking a little bare.
I love this one, man. Inject this jersey into my veins, man.
Okay, well, honestly, second. This logo always makes it a dub, but man, do more. I want some shoulder patches in there.
Yeah, but John, if you look at the one they had in their last reverse retro release, they used this logo, and I don't think they did it as well. I think this one, the red on the sleeves, just looks so clean to me.
Yeah, I like the red part.
I want to see Panarin and.
Are you pushing for an A on this one?
I have this one absolutely an A.
Oh,
where do you have this one? Let's hear it,
man. I was gonna say maybe like low end B.
This has got to be one of my top 5. I'm 100% on that. This is one of my top 5.
How about this? We will secure one spot for S. We got to decide, or 1 or 2 spots for S, maybe 3 max.
Yeah.
Max for an A. So we'll put Rangers in A for now. Yeah. But that A spot can't be getting like above 5. So if we have 2 more in A, then we're gonna have to move it down.
Rangers fans, I got you. I'll go to bat for you.
All right, Sens. I like the throwback look in terms of like seeing that red. It's like I'm thinking of like the Danny the Danny Heatley and like Daniel Alfredson days. So even Jason Spezza, like Chris Kelly. So I don't know. I mean, it's probably mid for me. It's probably like, I would say, man, I'm honestly close to getting a hot take here, where because of the Wild's laziness, I'm willing to put the Sens in the C, Wild down to the D.
I'm all for that.
Yeah. All right, let's do it.
I'm all for it. I think the Sens one, like, it's nostalgic with the font they chose. I'm not crazy with the font, but I get what they were going for. And also the logo in general just has less hype on it now because they use it day in, day out now. But overall, it's an okay jersey. And yeah, we'll move the Wild down because be more creative with that one.
Yeah. And are we on the same? Man, the Flyers, so lazy.
Okay, this one I have a bit of a hot take on. So
you like it?
So let me tell you, the Flyers, they didn't do much with this one. Okay, I recognize that. I see they didn't really get too creative with it, but I think it's plain, but it's gonna look so clean on the ice. I really do believe it's gonna look good on ice. I don't know if you've seen like the socks and everything they have for it, but like it looks the like
full kit.
Yeah, the full uniform looks pretty sweet. But for the laziness, I can't get this higher up than a C. So I would have it in C. I get why people have it lower than that, just because it's kind of bland. But I think it's going to really pop on the ice. I think you're going to see.
So are we doing Flyers and C, moving down Flames maybe? Or are we keeping Flames?
I'm for that. I like Flyers better than Flames.
All right. Maybe put Flyers in there.
The Penguinos.
All right. I'm so high on this one. This is like Mario Lemieux, top end, so clean with the yellow. Oh my God, the yellow on the shoulders, man. Sid the kid in this kind of jersey. Get me. If you want to disagree with me, push me down here. I'm on S.
Whoa.
Push me down if you want. I want to hear it. I want S.
Johnny, man. Okay, I love this one too. I love this one. It was a slam dunk A for me. If I'm really going to compare at this point to the kits that we got.
Who's your winning S then?
I got Rangers ahead of this one. I'm going to bat for my Rangers Nation. I have the Rangers ahead of it, but I do love this one, man. And I think it's going to look sweet on the ice, but I feel like the Penguins they've done so many jerseys that are similar to it that maybe I'm just not loving it as much as you, because I've seen it before. I don't know. There's something about it I'm not as attracted to as that Rangers one.
Man, I just love that. I love like the way it's diagonal across, like the white, black, and yellow.
All right, let's leave it in S, but I got a couple.
We can throw it down to A. We'll throw it down to A, and then we'll come up with the final S here.
We're doing a top
5 and A.
Yeah, we're doing a top 3 S. Top 3. All right.
Yeah. Okay. We'll try. Right. Sharks. I don't know, man. Again, this is like you're getting the Chargers vibe here. Like, what are you feeling on this?
This one, I mean, they paid homage to the history of the California Seals.
Yeah.
I get that. It's gonna look so weird seeing the Sharks in those colors.
I get the throwback. Like I said, I think people are gonna throw on a hockey game and be like, "Are we watching Justin Herbert and the Chargers out here?" No, but honestly, like I said, I like the respect on the throwback. To me, it's like a balance, the creativity and the respect, but like the appeal of the jersey. You can only go so far with that. I would probably have it high end D or low end C.
I got it in D.
All right, we'll do high end D then. All right, we're getting to jerseys here where there's like 2 or 3, in my opinion, that are really bad, and then 2 or 3 that are absolutely amazing. We go with Seattle here, where I think they could have got creative with the logo. I wanted to see one of the throwback logos with this exact design, and I think, to me, maybe this is a hot take of hot takes. If they have one of the throwback logos in here with this design, I have this in S or A.
Yeah, I think it's so bland to just copy paste the same logo you have on your 2 other jerseys, especially when you're a new team. This was a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have slam dunked this one and had jerseys like flying off the racks, but instead they go with this. I have this one as like one of the worst in my opinion. So I have this in F. I swear, when I saw this, I was so disappointed. I was like, man, you could have picked different colors. You could have went with the anchor logo. You could have went with a throwback logo, and you just go with the plain S that you've used. Like,
wow, you know what? I respect it. I respect the bold take. I was gonna say low end C. So if we meet in the middle on D.
Let's go D.
With that, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Lucas had it as an F.
Bring it home with this one.
I rate this one. I rate it heavy. I think the logo, like obviously the Mike Modano, Marty Turco days, and just I'm loving the green. I'm loving the freaking green incorporated with the dark. I'm probably at least a B, maybe an A for this one.
I'm 100% on board with making this one an S tier. I think it is one of the best jerseys that was released in this whole drop. Yeah. I love the little touch of that they removed Dallas and it just says stars. I like just there's clean lines in it. I think a lot of it too, John, it's like when you were talking about Pittsburgh, right? I think Pittsburgh has so many great jerseys that I just don't look at it as pristine because they've had so many, where Dallas has probably one of the worst jerseys in the league right now, in my opinion. And I think if they went with a logo design and a colorway like this, I love it. I love it. I have it in S.
All right. So I would say, I think because right now my top 4 are Dallas, Pittsburgh, Anaheim, Florida. I think we'll put those 4, and then we will like I said, we'll have to decide on
our top 3.
A top 3 for S, and then we can put your top 3 in S and my top 3 in S, and then we can just decide. Blues, man. I don't know if you're gonna be back in your Blues here. I gotta say, to me, it's a miss. I think this, like, I wanted yellow incorporated with the Blues, but like, to me, it's too much of a flip, and I don't know. Maybe it's my OCD or something going on here, but I can't have that logo going over letters like that.
This is the most polarizing one, I think, because I've seen people all like on Twitter loving it and some people hating it. So I don't think there's really a middle ground with a lot of people on this one. I love a lot of the Blues jerseys. This one's a miss for me. I'm just not a yellow guy, first off. But I like that they went for something with that logo, and I know there's some history with it. Back in when the Blues were being founded.
Maybe a C. That's the highest I could go. Unless you want to go D.
I have it as low end C. Yeah, low end C.
All right. Let's rip through the last ones here, and then we'll have some Canucks talk and finish up the pod with the Logan Stankoven interview. So Lightning, it's got to be low for me, but I don't know. It's bold.
Okay, here's what I'm going to say about this one, okay? I've been telling everybody this that I talked to. This jersey is not a great jersey when you stare at it, right? But they went hard with the creativity. I love the water, the raindrops, the lightning on the sleeves. Like, they went hard with it, so I respect it. I respect that heavy. But at the end of the day, John, you got to balance all these things, and I don't think it's going to look great on ice.
Yeah.
So I have it again, like St. Louis, as a low end C.
Man, I feel like they could be doing something crazy with like blue bolts going across the jersey, or like something that gets your attention. Like, I just think the water looks cheesy. The logo, I mean, so are we at D for this?
Yeah, I'd say it's a higher end D, but maybe a mid, maybe even a mid, but it's got to be higher than that Seattle jersey. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we'll have it ahead of the Seattle jersey. We can even move the Seattle jersey down here or something. Leafs. Honestly, just because it's definitely better than the last one, I still think they missed a little bit, because I wanted to either see the patches, like the shoulder patches, or like one of like the crazier unique logos. But I like this color is my favorite. Like I like this type of blue with the white. Logo's clean. I wanted to see the shoulder patches, but to me, maybe this is a hot take, but I still want to move that Sabres up one potentially, but the Leafs one is probably in a low end like area of B for me at least.
Yeah, for me, when I first saw this one, two things went through my head. One, it's way better than the last one with the gray.
Yeah.
Two, yeah, I was disappointed. I got to be honest. I thought we were getting the 2007, 2008 like third jersey style, with the TML on the side, and that was the one I really had my heart set on getting. And so when I saw this, I was a little disappointed. I think they went safe with it. Like it's a good jersey, but it's just a little safe, not very bold for me. So I have this. If you were talking about the Sabres, I have the Sabres ahead of this one. So I'd be cool with knocking this to C and bumping even the Sabres to B.
Wow. Okay. I mean, yeah, we can do high end C here and Sabres in there. That's fair. I like that.
All right.
Like I said, Leafs, I mean, it's the bias is there. I love the coloring, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely, it could have been improved a bit. So low end B, high end C there. And Canucks, again, an interesting one. I like the style of this jersey a lot. I think to me, it's like the throwback. I personally, if I had I think the Leaf jerseys, like if I'm just basing it off that, I would say it's slightly better, but I could see both arguments for these jerseys being in B, but where are you at?
Yeah, this Canucks one, I like it. I like how they went fully with that logo. Yeah, if I had to put it somewhere, I'd say it's in B right now. I think it does something for me. It's different than what they have, so I'd put it in a low end B.
Okay, we can do low end B for that one. Vegas. So here's the thing. There's a lot of stuff that comes into this jersey. I think like the look itself sell, but I mean, are you seeing all this like glow in the dark stuff and like the coloring on it? Like, what are you thinking?
At first, I thought the glow in the dark thing was a little tacky, but because it's Vegas and they're definitely going to do something with that, I think it's a cool add-on. But I'm just not a big guy with the vertical, or I guess the cross lettering.
Me too. And that's what sells it for me a little bit, and why. I mean, I don't know if I can have it higher than a C.
Yeah, I would go C or even D. I think there's two teams that should be allowed to do that cross lettering, in my opinion, and that's you guys, the Rangers fans out there that I'm backing your jersey in a couple minutes, and the Penguins. The Penguins, I think, could do it, but I don't want to see Vegas doing it.
All right. Caps, to me, all out A at the very least.
This is the goated jersey of this tier list, and I will not accept anything less than an S. I will go to bat for this one if this doesn't hit S. I'm thinking about copying this with Ovi on the back. It is so sick.
Yeah, I honestly, I'm probably, for me, we'll throw Jets here somewhere mid-range, or are you having it higher?
I'll give the Jets 30 seconds of my time, but let me tell you, I think they should have had red weaved into this jersey, like a bit of red. But I feel like I've seen this logo done so many times now. I'm just not as attached to it anymore, so I'd have this in a C, I'd say. All or right. maybe even D.
Hey, I'm going to bat for the Leafers. The Leafers are getting the jump to the B.
Oh,
we're going to bat. Low and B then.
All right. Well, I'm going to bat. Here's what we'll do.
Do you have a push, one that has to go higher, one that has to go lower? And
yeah, I'll do one of mine, then you'll do one of yours, and we'll go back and forth till we can agree on this. But I got Washington, like I said, has to be in the S. What do you say?
All right, I'm down.
Okay, so we agree on that one fully.
For me, because of the throwback, if you're getting an OV jersey for this, I need to get a Sid jersey. This one has to move to S for me.
I respect it. I actually respect it.
All right. Should we do two more? Or are you trying to get 5 at S tier? I don't know, man. I just don't know if you're hyping up the Cavs, but you could really put the Rangers next to the Cavs one. You want to?
Man, okay, Rangers fans, I'm going to dial it back a little bit. You were my number 3 ranked jersey on this list for me. My number 1 was Washington. My number 2 is that Dallas Stars jersey, man. I freaking love it. Like, come on.
All right.
John, you don't like that one. Come on.
You know what? I think we have to lock it in. This is our top 3 on the S tier.
All right.
Look, we kind of had exactly what we wanted. We had the 3 in the S tier. Do you disagree on anything? 4 in the A tier, 5 in that B tier, or 6 in that B tier. Sorry, I can't count. But
yeah, I really like how we have
6 in the B.
We have it like a full pyramid style, which I like. Except in F, which those jerseys just shouldn't be released. I mean, take it back to the scrapyard and restart. I think with those 3. Yeah. But I really love from B upward. I mean, there's some great jerseys there. And if you're a fan of any of those teams, I mean, I'm as people know, I'm a Leaf supporter, but I might go get that Washington jersey. That Dallas one is sick. I mean, Rangers, an Igor jersey in that would look sweet. Come on.
Yeah. Honestly, for me, I think my top two favorites are probably Penguins, Caps.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Panthers one just gets me amped on the creativity. I am okay with it. I wish the Ducks did a little bit more, like some shoulder patches or something. And I feel like the Ducks would be an S tier for me with that logo. I think I don't know. In some aspects, I could have the Islanders in A, maybe. Take out the orange in that Oilers one, maybe something else, and I probably would have had it B. And then, yeah, I mean, outside of that, I feel like I'm okay with this ranking, to be honest. I know it's tougher. It's tougher when you have like someone else to battle with for a tier list, but I think we did all right.
We actually did all right. We agreed on quite a bit here. I think the Ducks, like you said, just touching on what you said, I think the Ducks are in A largely because of their logo.
Yeah.
And they could have went a little bolder and maybe got into that S category or really cemented themselves in the A category. But I think the Rangers, the Panthers, the Kings, like they're all great jerseys. And yeah, I mean, it's great to see the Pooh Bear back for Boston.
Oh, yeah. Well, all right, guys, this was our tier ranks for the new reverse retro. So tier ranking video in the pod. Like I said, guys, always make sure you subscribe, like, comment, full pod on the on Spotify and Apple as well, and on YouTube. And yeah, Lucas, now let's move into our conversation with or about the Vancouver Canucks. What a mess. Let's chat about it. All right. All right, Lucas. So let's talk about this Vancouver Canucks situation. I know you're going to pull up the quotes from Bo Horvat and JT Miller, but what a mess. I'm smiling because I look like a dummy. I'm just like going into the season, even after the first few losses, I'm like, you know what? They're blowing leads. Things are going to change here. It's fine in Vancouver. But now we advance another week, advance a few more games, and we're on a new pod here just talking about how the Canucks now – I can't believe I'm saying Connor Bedard and Vancouver Canucks in the same sentence. And now people are calling for Bruce to be – I mean, it was what? Like it seems like a few months ago, Canucks fans were chanting Bruce, there it is.
I know, man. How have we turned like this? I mean, I still want to highlight it is still early. It's not as early as our last conversation, but it is still early. They're going to have to turn it around pretty quickly if they want to have hopes of catching up. But what a disaster out there. I mean, it's also one of the bigger hockey markets in the NHL. And so I can't imagine what the press is running with over there. But some of these quotes that have been going on with Bo Horvat and JT Miller, I mean,
let's hear it. This is so bad.
Let's start with Bo Horvat. So let's keep in mind, this is a guy who obviously needs a new contract. Doesn't sound very content here, but he's the captain. And he went on to say this yesterday. It's been a lot of years in the rebuild stage. And at this point in the season, it just feels like it's never going to happen. Like we're never going to win again. John, reaction.
Man, so I didn't see the full Horvat quote. I've obviously seen the JT Miller one countless times, but you gave me the full quote, and I'm just like, imagine in the Leafs disaster days if Dion Phaneuf said something like that. What the media would have done. They
would have chased him out of town. I mean, our Toronto would have been on fire, man.
I mean, but Bo Horvat, man, the captain, like it's, to me, that's crazy. I think you talk about a team, yes, that had so much expectation, but you have to realize as an NHL player, as a guy that like can see how every other team's doing too. Like who cares? Like at the end of the day, who cares in an 82 game season, what you do in 6 games if you turn it around? Like he has like the whole mentality right now is like, go for Bedard. And when we're talking 6, 7, 8, 9 games, of course there's time to be concerned, but do we really think some of these teams that have these flying starts right now are going to hold that on for the year? Like how many times have we seen, in this episode, we're giving major credit to the Buffalo Sabres. So I'm not trying to shit on them at all, but how many years, Lucas, in October, November, have we seen the Sabres string along like 8, 9, 10 wins? I think they had the 10 game winning streak a couple years ago.
Yep.
Years ago. And Sabres, we're going back to the playoffs, and the Sabres finished, what was it? Like bottom 3 in the league.
Yep. It happens, man.
It happens. So all I'm saying is like, I'm now getting worried for the Canucks for sure. I am. I'm not as confident as I was about a week and a half ago, but I still think this team's going to turn it around in some sense. But what I will say is I was freaking right. You should have traded JT Miller when his value is the highest. Now you're in that contract, and now pull up JT Miller's quote, Lucas. This is the guy you have locked up for 8 years.
JT Miller's quote. Well, some context as well, too. I was watching the last game that they were playing against the Sabres, and going into the third period, I believe. So it was right after the second period, and him and Luke Shen got into a bit of a bout with the disagreement skating off the ice. So that's where this all kind of started. But JT Miller did say this: if they want to throw their shit on the ice, it's up to them. If they want to come to the game, spend all their money, and throw their gear on the ice, that's up to them. So now he's taking a shot at the Canucks fan base. I mean, it's going off the deep end. This guy just signed this contract. Like,
I can't believe it, man. How it goes. You just committed 8 years of your life, and you're crapping on the org after a bit of games. But I also think it's funny too, because I think it's such a situation where you have multiple, like, it's not even like just the losing. It's like now Hughes' injury, Besser's injury, like Bruce is all over the place. Like this Rachel Dory stuff behind the scenes for the Canucks, and the firing, and like this potential lawsuit. Like this stuff is just piling on for the Canucks. And maybe that has part of it. Maybe there are stuff happening behind the scenes with the Canucks organization, the players, certain things are happening. Because for me right now, and speaking as a Leafs, I know it's always the comparison to the Leafs, but Leafs experience of crap behind the scenes and blowing leads and just crap performances, like there's got to be something said, like it's a mental thing too. They've blown how many leads?
Multi-goal
leads.
leads.
Really bad ones. Really bad ones. And I just think overall this team, especially like how much I was hyping them up, and I know the defense is so mediocre to poor, but you have Thatcher Demko, you have such a gross top nine, and this is how you start the year with all the excitement. I think the Canucks are just one of those teams that it's like the fan base doesn't know what to expect at this point. Like they really don't.
Yeah, I mean, man, like I feel like one thing you can't always control as players is the tone that gets set to the media, to the fans. And so even though they've lost all these games, I understand they're going to be under some fire. They're going to get some questions that they're going to have to answer that are hard hitting, but there's no reason to say things like JT Miller and Bo Horvat said that only add more gasoline on top of the fire in this situation. I don't understand, even from also from a leadership perspective. Bo Horvat is your captain. How there's guys walking into that locker room, they know he said this, how they aren't like, there's some distrust or some, there creates friction between the guys.
And man, the whole irony of the situation too, in the situation of like, what we said, JT Miller just signed this contract, but Bo Horvat, this is the guy that needs a contract soon.
Yep.
Like, so the whole scenario here is like, do the Canucks, and I'm not insinuating that they do this, but what I'm saying is like, I'm putting it up in the air here. If they see some massive regret with their decision to lock in a guy that's going into his, well, I mean, Horvat's younger. I don't know what the age difference is, but you have a lot of younger guys. And do you learn from your decision on JT Miller and choose not to re-sign Horvat long-term at what I think will be 7.5 plus, maybe even 8 plus per year? And because I guarantee Horvat and his agent will look at comparables like a Sean Couturier, even though he's been injured, or like looking at what Nick Suzuki just signed, or looking at like a bunch of guys around the league, specifically his teammate in JT Miller. Yes, Horvat hasn't put up the numbers, but being better overall, or like overall game, and being the captain, like he's definitely, like, there's no way it's under 7. So it's above 7, above 7.5. Like this guy could be pushing for 8 per year, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. And I think I don't want to jump the gun and maybe go too hot off the deep end here, but a quote like that really resets from the general manager perspective with Rutherford. Like, is this the guy you want to keep around as your captain, especially if they keep losing games like this? I mean, because in the worst of it, if he's not going to be able to get in front of it, I don't know if I want him leading my team when the times get hard and you're in playoff series. But Jim Rutherford, he's obviously had a tough job to deal with a lot of contracts that were left from the previous regime. And I still think it's a team building issue. Like you talked about with the defense. I think the defense is mediocre, if not poor. But this team is way better than what they've shown so far. So I think they will turn a little bit around, but if they keep going like this, they're going to be in too big of a hole to even talk about making the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. And like, that's where it's going right now. It's early on. I can't believe Bedard and the Canucks are in the same conversation right now, but yeah, Oliver DB on Twitter. We're going to shout some out throughout the next few pods, guys. And if you guys like, make sure you drop a comment on YouTube or add us on social media. But Oliver DB on Twitter says Bruce Boudreau will be gone in 2 weeks. So that's a hot take. And Mitch Villani, shout out to BLV, says, what is the Canucks' biggest issue and how can they turn it around? So yeah, I think we're kind of on the same page. It's probably a lot of the behind the scenes and team like synergy, chemistry, whatever you want to talk about. But I believe that a lot of it's that, but it does seem like a mental thing. Like some of these JT Miller giveaways and just the lines, and even a guy like Kuzmenko who had so much hype going into the like preseason and through the season. And like, I'm already seeing guys drop Kuzmenko like nothing on fantasy and just he's not putting up the numbers. So for me, I was also getting frustrated because Kuzmenko wasn't working like as we've seen on the power play. That power play in general, now Hughes is down. Besser should have been there. Now he's injured too, short term. So I don't know, man. The Canucks are just a big mess right now. They've got to switch something up. They've got to switch the lines. They've got to, like, the fact that Garland was a healthy scratch. Like, we can go on and on and on with this team right now. But I think it just goes back to the whole JT Miller conversation. And I do strongly believe that they did make – I was trying to see the perspective, and there was a good perspective. But I do believe they made a massive mistake not trading this guy a year ago. I think they should have traded JT Miller a year ago when his value was at its highest, either a year ago or at the deadline when he has a productive season like that. When he puts a production like that at the deadline, I honestly think they probably could have gotten like a first, second prospect and walk away laughing, because then they would also have additional cap space.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they even had the opportunity to try to trade him before they signed him here. I know it was going to be tougher at start of season, but they definitely made the wrong call as of right now, because this is just going to blow up in their face. It's a long-term deal. He's 29, so he ain't getting any younger. And just to go back to what you were saying, John, Bo Horvat's at 27, so he's going to be coming up on his 28th birthday when this contract is going to have to go down. So it's similar age from that perspective. Yeah.
So we'll see. Will they learn from it? Will Bo Horvat be a Canuck long term? And I mean, will the Canucks turn it around? And are we seriously talking about the Canucks being in a Connor Bedard? I mean, hey, Bedard, it seems like he's a Canucks guy. he got asked. I don't know if you saw it, like, he got asked before the season, and he said his pick for the Cup was the Canucks. So clearly clearly some bias there. They did a social media video, and a bunch of people are saying like the Avs, Oilers, Hurricanes, and then Bedard comes up from the bench and goes, the Vancouver Canucks. So
or it was a reverse jinx, so they'd come last and pick him. Maybe, who knows? Who knows what he was thinking.
So we're now going to go into the Logan Stankoven interview, and Lucas and I were able to chat with him. What a legend! The second time he's come on the channel. So huge shouts to Logan, and yeah, let's go to the Logan Stankoven chat. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Hot Take Hockey Podcast. Myself, John, here with Lucas, and an absolute legend we got on. Drafted 47th overall by the Dallas Stars. He currently plays with the Kamloops Blazers of the WHL. And in my opinion, I think he was the steal of the 2021 draft. Logan Stankoven. Logan, how you feeling, man?
I'm doing good, thanks. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, bro. I appreciate you coming on again for the second time, as I said. And a lot has kind of transpired for you as a hockey player in the last year. Obviously coming out of a pandemic, and you got your experience at the World Juniors, Dallas Stars training camp. Just overall for you, just how you've been feeling like with your growing career, and just how you've been feeling kind of with your game.
Yeah, it's been busy lately. A lot of hockey over the past couple months here with World Juniors, a gold medal there. So that was quite the experience. And then getting 5 preseason games in with Dallas before getting sent back to Kamloops. So I was in Dallas for just over a month, and enjoyed my time there. Met some of the veterans there, like Ben and Sagan and Pavelski. And yeah, it's been good to see Dallas have success so far, early in the season.
Yeah, Logan, awesome. I mean, when I look over at your junior career thus far, it's quite remarkable that you've been with one club the whole way through. Tell me about your time growing in Kamloops and growing into a leader and a real contributor for the team, obviously winning the CHL Player of the Year. Give us a rundown on your life in Kamloops.
I think just the whole aspect of being able to play in my hometown is it's pretty special, and not many guys get that opportunity. And I know, a lot of my buddies growing up that I played hockey with, they were drafted to the Dub, and they're out in Calgary or out in Manitoba, a little bit farther from home. So for me to stay in my hometown and to get to live at home and see my friends and family every day, it's a good feeling. And obviously being able to, be the captain now, and time's flied ever since I started out as a 15 and 16-year-old here in town, and it's been nothing but a great time here for myself.
Yeah, I know Logan, I know we just recently connected again. I appreciate you coming on short notice as well. We do have to say congrats, because these are some big time accomplishments. I don't want to keep pumping up your tires here, but captain, gold medal, you got your Stars experience there. So just overall, and kind of, I know we were talking off air, just you following the Stars. Does that excite you, even seeing? I know it's like you go into training camp wanting to make the team, and now obviously being a captain in the Dub. But I think even seeing Wyatt Johnston score his first NHL goal with the Stars, like, is that something you envision? And we'll talk about the World Juniors goal in a second here, but like seeing a guy like that score for the Stars, like that could be you like in a year's time. Like, does that really excite you and get you motivated?
Oh, for sure. I think just seeing a guy of that caliber, and a great player in person like Wyatt, scoring his first goal in the NHL, something you kind of dream of as a kid. And I want to be a part of that team so badly. And like I said before, it's been awesome to see them have a great start. And I think they got a really solid squad this year, so hopefully they can go pretty far in playoffs. But next year would be my year to hopefully come into camp and be prepared and hopefully crack the roster.
Yeah, Dallas has really started. I mean, John and I were talking about it last week. They've started so strong. They got one of the best netminders in the league right now. Obviously, Heiskanen on the blue line. They got obviously Rope Hintz, Jason Robertson, so many pieces. Now yourself. I mean, they look like they've got a real good squad going forward. As far as that World Junior experience, let's transition there. I know John wanted to touch on it. Again, congratulations for myself. That's unbelievable. We can obviously talk about, you were on the ice, you got the assist on the golden goal, but take us through the whole way through. I know you had a big input on the Switzerland game, the Czechia game, so many big moments for yourself and your teammates there, making our country proud and bringing home the gold.
Yeah, I do want to add on to that as well, saying, because Logan, I think that was your true coming out party. I think a lot of true like hockey fans and people that follow the game closely in the draft and scouting and all that, they know who Logan Stankoven is. But I think truly, like the casual fan that tuned into the World Juniors, like Logan Stankoven has arrived. And I also do want to laugh, because I think as Kent Johnson was tucking that, you had a little bit of a WWE moment. That guy brought you down. So also go over that, but the whole play, I want to hear from you on that.
Yeah, so I think just the whole experience of playing in that tournament in the middle of summer, it's definitely different. Used to playing a couple months with your club team, and then around Christmas time is when the tournament's usually held. So trying to kind of get your feet wet and almost get used to playing games in the middle of summer was a bit hard. So I think it took me a few games to get back into the swing of things, and new line mates too. So you're trying to figure out, kind of that chemistry between, myself and, Johnson and Forrester. So we had a good line going there, but took us a few games to kind of get used to playing with each other. And then I think, once the medal rounds hit, we kind of clicked and things started to take off from there. Like you said, the Switzerland game in the quarterfinals, and then the Czechia game was really good too. So it was a good build up to the gold medal game where, we had a really good start.
Crazy things happen.
I give Finland credit. They didn't give up, and their goalie made some huge stops in the game to kind of keep them in it. And that third period, we were kind of on our heels, and they scored 2 there to tie it up. And I think everybody in the building was like, oh boy, especially when we had I think we had 4 or 5 power plays. We didn't score on any of them. So it's one of those things where, it could have came back to kind of bite us. But luckily enough, we were able to kind of finish it off in overtime. And I think it was just meant to be with McTavish, making that save on the goal line. And then, about a minute later coming back and having the 2-on-1 and Kent being able to kind of cap it off. So just a cool moment for myself and for the team, and something that I'll be able to remember for the rest of my life.
Were you feeling the pressure when you were getting when you're trying to drag it and you were kind of getting tugged there? And then, as I said, to me, I was just like, Stankoven is taking one for the team here. Kent's tucking it in and you're just getting brought to the ground. When you got up, were you just on cloud nine? What was that feeling?
Yeah, so I remember the play. It was kind of a broken play on the boards there, and I'd picked the puck up. It was kind of a partial 2-on-1, but I remember Kent kind of had to slow down, so we didn't go offside, and the one D-man had slid, so I tried to make a drag move around him. He got his stick on it, kind of poked it away, but at the same time, they had a back checker coming, and he kind of over back checked and came right to me. So I knew that if I kind of spun around, Kent would be wide open back door. So made the play to Kent, and I think he shot it and got his own rebound and put it in. As soon as I saw that rebound come out, I knew the game was over, and it was just chaos from there.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to ask too. If on the way down you knew it was over, if you knew Kent was going to get on it, but there you go. Yeah, as far as the talent that was on this World Juniors team, I mean, it's phenomenal. It's got to be,
talked about it a lot.
Yeah, it's got to rival one of the, a lot of the big World Juniors teams in the last 20 years with McTavish, yourself, Bedard, Johnson. I mean, so many big names. How is it like being in a room with just so many promising young players that are obviously hoping to make their mark in the NHL in the years coming?
It's really cool. Those guys are going to be, stars in the NHL for many years to come. And, like you said, McTavish, Bedard, such special players. And, I think just, it's one of those things where everybody's good on the team. Everybody can put the puck in the net, all four lines, all six defensemen, everybody's contributing in different ways. And, it's one of those things where you kind of have to leave your ego at the door and almost sacrifice yourself and your role for your country and to bring a gold medal back. And at Christmas time, I was kind of that 13th, 14th forward where I didn't know if I was going to get in the lineup, and I was able to get in the one game against Austria before everything kind of got shut down because of COVID. But coming back in the summertime, not all the guys were able to return to the tournament, so it kind of opened up a little bit more room for myself to move up in the lineup. And I thought, here's my opportunity. So just kind of seize the moment and make the best of it.
Yeah. I mean, as I said, man, I think what you just said, the Christmas to the summer, I think everyone had their eyes on Stankoven on the ice by the end of the tournament. So overall, I mean, just kind of what Lucas alluded to is Bedard and McTavish. I think we've talked about it a lot, is you look at a guy like McTavish who played on how many teams throughout a span of 12 months. And you look at obviously Bedard now coming into the scene. I got to say, man, iconic pick with you and Bedard, unreal pick in the dressing room after the gold medal. Seeing specifically Bedard, and I believe you do play him next month, right? I think we play him at the end of November there. Yeah. How is the buzz around that guy? I mean, it's obviously we talk about big names in the NHL. This guy's had buzz around him obviously for, I think we're coming on 2 or 3 years now and leading into next year's draft, in the dub and even around junior hockey and World Juniors. What's the buzz around Connor Bedard, and how is he behind the scenes kind of in your interactions?
He's a really good guy. I can't imagine, the pressure that he puts on himself. He's super competitive, obviously, and wants the best for, himself and for the team. And, he's a generational talent, guy like Crosby, McDavid, he's the next big thing to come out of, Canada. So, I can't wait to see what he does in the near future here. And obviously he's got one more World Juniors left before he gets drafted, and I'm sure he'll go right to the NHL. So just to play with him, and, you're going to grow up one day and be able to tell your kids, hey, I played with Connor Bedard, and next thing you know, he's ripping it up in the show. So, that's something that not every kid gets to say.
Yeah, well, next thing we'll be saying is Logan Stankoven's ripping into the show,
There you go. Yeah. Logan, I always like to ask our guests, particularly athletes like yourself, high-level athletes, things behind the scenes that you like to do, on your free time, whether it's, music, movies, TV shows, other sports or activities you like doing. What's a couple things you do on game day, practice day that maybe, other fans wouldn't know about yourself?
Game days are tough, but I think just like hobbies outside of
Yeah.
hockey, I like to golf in the summer lots. I'm not the greatest at it, but I just kind of picked it up over COVID. With the rinks and the gyms being shut down here in BC for a while. Golf is one of the only things that you're kind of able to go out and do and hang out with your buddies. So one of my friends from here had invited me out to go golfing, and I remember I had a blast. So I just kept on going back and going to the range, and I had a lot of fun. So I enjoy doing that quite a bit when I have the time. And I have a pool in my backyard, so I like to swim. And I like being around water, whether it's at the lake or kind of swimming in my backyard. I'm a big water guy. So water, it's all fun.
I second that big time.
Yeah. And then I like, music and movies are huge for me too. It's just all about kind of finding that time to get those things in, right? Because the schedule, it's busy. You're on the bus, or team meals, or playing games, practices. It's a hectic schedule, but if you find the time, those are things that I like to do.
And Logan, with the team right now, I know we talked beforehand just quickly and said, obviously, like, good start to the season and now a tough weekend. So going forward the rest of the year, I know there's big expectations for this team. And also, if you could just touch on, because we do have a lot of Leaf fans that watch this pod as well. So Fraser Minten, if you could kind of speak on him. And I mean, I'm seeing, I would say 1-2 punch, but I think up top, like, the team's looking good, like, for the length of the season. Just so overall, I guess, going in, how are you feeling on the team, and just the team, how are they feeling?
I think we're going to be pretty confident. Obviously, being able to host the Memorial Cup, you want to win as many games as possible, and make sure that you don't lose out in the first couple of rounds of playoffs. You want to kind of win it all and almost win your way there. You don't want to be that team that kind of loses out right away and has to wait a month or so to play in the Memorial Cup. So I think for our team, we got special guys like Caden Bankier and Fraser Minten. And I guess for all the Leaf fans, Minty's a great person, and he's just like super smart, down to earth guy. And he kind of analyzes things differently than a lot of people. He's always kind of in depth, and you can just tell he's just such an intelligent guy, and obviously has great hockey sense too. So special player, and definitely someone that I won't be surprised if he ends up wearing a Leafs jersey pretty soon here.
Well, that's the hope for sure. Lucas, anything else to shoot at Logan? I mean, man, what a legend for coming on again. Like, we got to appreciate it big time. But I know, Lucas, if you wanted to shoot one more at him.
No, I was just going to say, Logan, thanks so much for giving us the time and hopping on. I know you're in that busy grind right now in the Dub, and we wish nothing but Kamloops the ultimate success this year. Hopefully you go all the way for that Memorial Cup.
Yeah, thank you. Hope so too.
Yeah, Logan, again, man, appreciate it. I know, again, busy with the season, shorter notice too. So, man, thank you for taking the time here. It's a hot. I know you're in your position. You got to be careful. But any hot takes to close out the pod here, whether maybe it's for yourself or for the season, or maybe if you got a hot take for the NHL season, you got any sort of hot take to finish off the pod here?
Hopefully, Stars win the Cup this year, though.
Okay,
there you go.
That's the hot take. We'll take that. There you go.
Yeah,
there you go. Stars with the Cup. I appreciate it, Logan, man, and thank you so much. And as I said, congrats on everything, and best of luck this season.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Huge dub. What a legendary chat with Logan. So Logan Stankoven, man, look out for this guy. I think, as I said, I think he could be the steal of that 2021 draft. Dallas Stars prospect. I think they have such a beauty prospect who, I mean, we'll probably see again in the World Juniors. So the fact that he came out onto the scene for the World Juniors this past summer and going to have this opportunity with a really good Kamloops team. And then, of course, maybe next year he'll be on the Stars. So thanks again to Logan. What a legend. And let's get back to closing out the pod with Lucas. Let's just quickly go over it. Rasmus Dahlin, it's the coming out party of Rasmus Dahlin.
Oh
Truly.
my gosh, he's the Norris Trophy favorite, early on here. Obviously, I know it's early, but he is. And this is something no defenseman's ever done, John. 5 goals now. He already did it when he hit the 4-goal mark. 5 goals in 5 games to start the season. It's crazy. I mean, like, and on the power play, he's dynamite right now. I mean, this guy, he's really looking like that number 1 overall pick that I guess they were hoping they had when they first drafted him, right? He's unbelievable.
Yeah, and I was talking about overreactions. I've been making a couple of videos, and it's kind of funny because I feel like a little bit of a dummy on it, whereas like I included Rasmus Dahlin as my overreaction in my first video, not only to realize like a week later, the case for that overreaction just got so much higher, like so much better. Like, so I was like, I should have saved it for the week 2, because then I could have been, the full out Buffalo Sabres playoff team, Rasmus Dahlin, Norris Trophy. But honestly, like the way the Sabres are playing, and I mean, Comrie's played well, Craig Anderson, like the ageless wonder. So, I mean, I don't know. I just think they need so much credit for the fact that they're on the rise and they actually have a little bit of an identity, and they're like a homegrown boy. And I'm calling him a boy, but Alex Tuck, like always been a Sabres guy. So, yeah, I mean, I like what the Sabres are doing. I think Dahlin finally, like a little bit of maturity. I think I've seen still a couple times sloppy in his defensive zone. I think that will continue to get better as he grows, because like a couple of years ago, man, in the defensive zone, I couldn't watch that guy. But his hands, his IQ, his, I would say, tracking of the net for space on the shot. But I do think, I think Dahlin's he's joining that next crop of defensemen, where we're seeing obviously Makar at the top, and Dahlin, Heiskanen, Quinn Hughes, go down the list. But
and this is
Dahlin's
all
now up there.
This is all I just want to point out, without Jack Quinn really doing much for Buffalo. So that's another weapon that should get going.
He seems like
eventually.
He's going to be the most streaky player ever in his career.
Yeah, very hot and cold.
Yeah, I think he's probably going to be that guy that puts up like 10 goals in 10 games and then goes dry.
Yeah. But Craig Anderson continues to just amaze me. I mean, you could talk about this guy for 20 minutes, but like this guy was a really, really dependable starter with Ottawa, obviously. And how many years ago was that? I mean, how is he still here playing this well? I mean, fighting as like they got a good tandem going on there, but I would have thought by now he would have been either retired or some sorry backup. I was horribly wrong if I had to put that out there. He's a battler, man. He keeps just winning games too. It's unreal.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I do want to just give a shout out, Richard Clay on Twitter, for the reverse retro question. We obviously addressed that in the pod already, but so Prince Chicken, his hot take is the Red Wings will make a wild card, make a playoff. Right now for you, and let's just quickly chat about it, and then we'll give a little shout out to Phil the Thrill. Red Wings, Sabres are one or both, or like in terms of playoff conversation right now, the Red Wings are nuts right now. Like I don't know what year it was, but I know that there was something dropped on Twitter like this is their best year in a while, or best start to a year in a while. And now the Sabres are doing really well as well. Like, do you feel like one of these teams can squeak in?
I'm going to stick with what I said, a few pods ago. I have the Red Wings still above the Sabres in terms of the class of the Atlantic. I think this Vrana time away, which we don't know how long that's going to be, and we wish them all the best, but that obviously hurts Detroit. That's one of their top guys in the top 6 there. But I think Detroit's got that veteran presence too, with a Perron coming aboard. They got Kopp. Great. I mean, I like Detroit's team to contend for a playoff spot more than Buffalo as the season goes on. But I think, I wouldn't fault anybody for saying Buffalo either. I think they're right in that same sort of area for battling for wildcard spots when it's all said and done. And I think they'll hang around for quite a bit here because they're both got off to great starts. I mean, Ville Husso looks really, really good in Detroit too, which is crazy. And Nedeljkovic, he lost to the Blackhawks recently, but he had won previously to that. So I think Detroit's got a good squad as well. What about you, John?
Yeah, I think Detroit's got a chance if their goaltending sticks up. Man, I have a hard time because it's like, do we go with the boring expected storyline of just seeing those top 4 teams we've discussed in the Atlantic? Or it's like, I mean, unless no Metro teams sneak into a wild card, like you're probably only going to get one wild card from the Atlantic. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm just thinking for a storyline like that to happen for a Buffalo or for Detroit or one of those teams to make it in, Ottawa, obviously, like I think Ottawa shouldn't be underestimated. It's like one of those 4 teams, Tampa, Florida, Toronto, Boston, like one of those will have to miss for sure. For an Ottawa and Detroit to be in there. And that's my problem is like, who's going to get out? Like, I mean, Boston's having such a great start. Like, the disaster, like I can't even think about the possibility of the Leafs not making the playoffs. Like the joke of the first round, like you still got to make the playoffs. And then one of the Florida teams, I just don't see it, even though Tampa hasn't had the most ideal start. So it's like something's got to give.
Yeah. And I felt like the take that everybody was running with, or a lot of hockey minds were running with at the start, was that the Panthers would be the one out of those four to miss.
Yeah.
But they won the President's Trophy.
They've had a good start.
Yeah, they've had a great start. They won the President's Trophy last year. I know some pieces have moved around, but to just say they're going to drop 25, 30 points from their 120 points last year is roughly that. Like that seems not realistic to me. So I would still have these teams that we're talking about, these bubble teams on the outside looking in, but I have the Red Wings right now as the team that's probably going to make it the most interesting.
Do you have the Red Wings above the Sens, or is that a different conversation? You're gonna get the Sens fans all rowdied up. Honestly, man, I don't even think it's that much of a hot take, because here's the thing. As we're making this pod, obviously things will change as you guys are watching this pod or listening in, but no Cam Talbot, and Anton Forsberg now is having these injury questions.
Josh Norris as well.
Josh Norris out now. Like, you got to keep an eye on this. So I don't think you're too crazy if you're to say right now, as it stands, the Red Wings have a better chance. But again, I do believe it comes down to the fact that some of these bubble teams too have weaker defense cores than those. Like, crap on the Leafs defense all you want. Like, I'm looking at the Red Wings defense and I'm still concerned. I'm looking at the Sens defense. I'm still concerned. Sabres defense getting better. Obviously, Dahlin's the forefront of that, but still very inexperienced. So that's my thing for those defenses, and there's no goaltending in those teams either that like you're going nuts about. But hey, big shout out to, as I said, the Sabres goaltending. Billy Cusow's having a good start to the year as well. And
Detroit, looking at their lineup, if you actually pull up their lineup, it's so weird, because tying it back to the Canucks conversation, bringing it full circle, they got great forwards. Their goaltending, great
top nine.
Great top nine. Their goaltending, I mean, obviously you're going to give the edge way to Vancouver with Demko, but like Detroit in theory has good goaltending, and the blue lines on both teams are weak, right? But you see the difference between a team that's playing on the same page and getting off to a good start and a team that's in disarray. It's crazy. 100%. I would have never thought the Red Wings would be, what are we, like double-digit points on the Canucks right now. I know they're different conferences, but just thinking they're that wide, there's that wide of a gap between two teams like that blows my mind.
I think it also makes a difference in the divisions too, right? Like Detroit's in the Atlantic, so it's so easy to like look over them, but like the Canucks have this window, I feel like, to win, and it's just like you might as well just swap Detroit and Vancouver in these. Get Detroit back in the frickin' whatnot. Like, this is a crazy take here, but like, man, if the Canucks are really going to crap themselves like this with an opportunity to compete with the Flames and Oilers in that Pacific, like, you're ruining the frickin' fun. So get Detroit back over there, get the rivalries going back with Chicago and Colorado, and let's get moving.
Yeah, honestly, man. Well, I mean, Vancouver, though, to your point, buddy, almost every team in that division right now, only two are above 500, which is Calgary and Vegas. Everybody else is below 500. So there's no excuse.
And yeah, obviously that will change quickly as you guys are listening and watching, but that is nuts. And just the Pacific Division, freaking wake up. All right.
All right. Speak of the Pacific Division.
Yeah, give a shout.
The Vegas Golden Knights are in action as we speak tonight. They're going to be in action tonight against the Leafs as we record against the Leafs. And Phil Kessel is going to be tying the Iron Man streak with Keith Yandel for the all-time Iron Man streak. John, this is pretty crazy. I mean, Phil Kessel hasn't missed a game since October 2009.
Huge shout to Phil. Love it. I think for a guy that's been criticized about his training, his weight, all these things, and like all the memes about Phil, like this is a guy he's consistent with his, I mean, Arizona, obviously he had his comments, but like in terms of his production overall in his career and his consistency and staying in the lineup consistently, even freaking showing up for a shift when his baby was being born, like that's nuts. So I mean, shout out to Phil, man. What a legend.
Yeah, man. And I don't know if you saw the Austin Matthews quote, but he said about Phil, when you look at him, you wouldn't think he'd be that guy, but he's had an incredible career and it is a lot of fun to watch. I spent some time with him in Arizona the past couple summers. He's just a great guy. Like, I feel like every player you ask about says Phil is just an unreal guy.
That also just breaks my heart, because if things are different, man,
they could have played together.
Oh man, like talk about generations crossing over. Like two American hockey legends in Phil the Thrill and Austin Matthews on the same line. That's what I'm saying. Maybe it's the crazy side of dreaming, but in terms of another American player, like Patrick Kane with Austin Matthews would be nuts. I'm still putting that in the universe, but yeah, the Phil Kessel opportunity, I would have loved to see it. I think with this whole interactions with the media and everything with like that, and the lack of playoff success for the Leafs, he was never going to come back.
Agreed, man. Agreed. Even though my heart wishes it wasn't true, and he did return.
Anyways, well, episode 11. Anything else you want to throw out there, Lucas, into the universe?
No, I think we're good to wrap. I mean, it was great talking about the reverse retros, and I want to see all your guys' comments about, maybe there was one we had below that you think should be higher, and maybe there's one we're overrating. I mean, get in the comments, debate, but John and I think our favorites are the Caps and the Pens. And it just, I mean, great jerseys, man. Great jerseys that we went through today, and some that could have had some improvement, but let's see what what everybody's thinking out there and what their thoughts are.
Yep. Well, from Lucas and myself, thank you so much, guys, for another podcast. Listen on Spotify, Apple, watch on YouTube, all that good stuff. Drop comments, hot takes, all that stuff, and we can include it in the pod. And if we didn't get to your question or take, we'll get it on the next one. And thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next podcast. Peace.